High frequencies, everyone. Blackfoot Witch here. Blessing the space, sending you energy. This is a 528 hertz tuning fork. I've had for a few years, and I keep it at my altar normally. But I posted the other day on Instagram about keeping water on your altar while the moon now is in Pisces. I have water on my altar just ongoing all the time. It's a daily ritual of mine. I keep certain crystals and oils on top of it. It's in a mason jar. It's in a mason jar similar to this, and it has a metal lid on it. I have crystals on top, oils, different oils that I've created, that I've concocted. I also have magnets on the side of it. I have a scripture in front of it that I read, part of my ritual as well. I do hit the tuning fork, and similar to I show you all just here. I don't know if you can see, just a little bit. But what I do in the morning, it sits on my altar. But before I take sips of it, I take the tuning fork and I repeat the affirmations. It's an affirmation I have just for this water. I take it around 3 times. Sometimes I'll say it out loud. Sometimes I'm intoning the affirmation. I also send the vibration around the crystals and the oil, then around the magnets, and then on the left ear and on the right ear. And then I take, before I do that, after that, I hold the water and I go back and I intone my affirmation. I read my scripture, and then I take 3 sips of the water. I only do 3 sips. Spirit told me only take 3 sips. So I do 3 sips of the water, and then I put the lid back on, place it on my altar, and put everything back in its position. Also, on the metal lid, I do have words on the metal lid that I'm bringing forth, that I want to input into the water, and that I want to manifest in my life, that I want to take in, so it vibrates all throughout my body, into each and every cell, down to every molecule of my being. So I'm using the water to infuse me, because we are 70% water, and so water takes on the vibration of what you put into it. Words, crystals, frequencies, everything. It just picks it up, it takes it on, and you can ingest and take in that frequency. I also had a bottle of water that had been sitting on my altar from last week that I took to work with me today, and I was intentional about drinking that water and what I was calling forth, since it was sitting on my altar. I really and you should do that anyway with whatever water you're drinking, but especially I had it, the intention was locked in because it had been sitting on my altar. So I was very intentional about what I was when I was drinking it, and what it was doing to my body, for my body. This is Lambo. This is the little lamb. His name is Lambo. I like little plush dolls, and one of the directors at the facility where I teach Tai Chi gave me Lambo. It's a little lamb that's so cute and soft, and I just love little Lambo. So Lambo here relaxing with me. I am drinking just some plain warm water. I'm gonna let it cool a little bit with royal jelly. I put some royal jelly in here, mixed it in, and I'm gonna drink that a little bit later. As I talk to you all about the energies now of what I'm feeling and what's coming up for this full moon on the 19th, which is also a lunar eclipse. Now, going into it, I'm not claiming to be anybody's astrologist. I follow astrology, but more so I also follow what's going on internally. So I'm an empath. So with that being said, I feel more than anything, and that's my guide. So lately I have really had a huge appetite. I've been wanting to eat more. I've been wanting more snacks. I've been really wanting to eat more. And so I don't deprive my body, but I do limit myself on how much I eat. I just don't go crazy because there is discipline that has to be there. But I do listen to my body. My body also is calling forth now for more magnesium. It asks for magnesium. It also asks for iron. It definitely asks me to increase my iron and my magnesium in my diet, so I can get in more oxygen, definitely with the iron for the oxygen. My magnesium as well, so I'm needing that for my digestive system. And magnesium is also good to take before you go to bed, so it's definitely good for it. So if you're having problems going to sleep, or also if you're having digestive issues, you may want to get on magnesium. So I need some magnesium in my life to help balance me out. My body's just calling for that. Part of our the 30 days, I said 30 days of holistic wellness and care is intuitive care. Going inward, listening to the body, finding out what the body needs in order for you to be healthy, whole, and just knowing, being spiritually guided so you can be more tapped in with your body than anybody else. Any doctor, any physician, any practitioner out there, that you know what your body needs. And that's what this 30 days of holistic wellness and care is. And so going in every day as part of my practice, before I go to bed at night, I do my breathing regimen, and I also listen to high frequency, either high frequency tones, or I listen to a guided meditation or something to send me off on a higher frequency before I go to sleep. And I do the same thing when I wake up. More so when I wake up, I'm reprogramming, where I am listening to affirmations, something that is mantras, affirmations, something that is reprogramming my thought process and sending me onto a higher frequency so I can be prepared for the day. And so being that like the moon is in Pisces right now, I would really encourage you all to work with water, listen to your body, be intuitive, feel and understand what's going on right now with yourself, and kind of understand and even call forth your higher self and ask what it is that your body is needing right now, what it is that your physical body, because we have to take care of this physical body to even stay connected with the higher self. We can't just be like, oh, I don't care, whatever. No, you have to stay connected with your higher self and feed your body things that is going to raise your frequency so you can stay connected to the higher benevolent energies. And there has to be a balance. There also has to be discipline. So that is what we're doing with the 30 days of holistic wellness and care. Going into, this has been something that has been going on in the dreams. And not to go real in depth into it unless it starts to become more clear while I'm talking. But I know last week, I think it may have been Thursday night or either Friday night going into Saturday morning, had this dream where I was connecting with my future selves. It was more than one. And things that my future selves, where it was like multiple me's, and it was things that we were doing that we were getting done. And when I woke up, I was guided to move forward on some on a particular project, I would say, that I had already put into work back in April. And I was confirmed that when I woke up, but I was confirmed later on that day by someone who doesn't even know me, and she confirmed it as well. So So it's very important now that we listen and we send ourselves off into sleep on a higher frequency and a reprogramming. We wake up in a vibration of reprogramming and a higher frequency, so we can be able to be tapped in to receive this information and receive these messages as they are given, because what may seem like a small step is really a big step in all areas of your life. And if you aren't satisfied or you're dissatisfied with different areas of your life, consciousness chooses possibilities. And quantum physics is stated that consciousness chooses. There's an infinitude of possibilities that are out here. We have an infinitude of possibilities that we can choose from. And consciousness chooses, but consciousness, which is, to me, this the source is all. Consciousness, is your mind, your thought, your consciousness is also part of your memory and your karma, of what they call karma. And that's a whole nother subject of how I feel about that. But consciousness can choose these various and infinitude of possibilities. But from my perspective, consciousness can only choose the possibility in which the frequency that you're vibrating on. So if you're choosing, if you want to change things that's going on in your life, if you need, we are always looking into a financial increase, or we're looking for love, or we're looking for better marriage or a better career. We're looking for more vacation time. We're looking just for a lot of different things of wants and desires that comes from the character, the ego perspective of the person, which is all fine because it's all part of the experience that we're having here. And we are master manifestors and master creators here. So don't get it caught up in that's egotistical. No, this is all a part of your experience here, especially when it's connected to ascending and helping others ascend in the spiritual walk. So making sure it's not just for self-gratification. So as we understand that, consciousness can choose these various possibilities that are out there, no matter what it is, and you're trying to bring forth, in all of those areas that I just explained. However, consciousness has to be on the same vibration or frequency, or what some may call an alignment of that thing that you're choosing to bring forth or you're choosing to manifest. And as master manifestors, as supreme beings, and we're stepping into that authority of being supreme divinity here in this realm, in this reality, that we have to learn and understand frequency. One of the ways that we can manipulate and understand frequency and then vibrate on the frequency that we choose to align with on that particular area that we want to manifest in our lives is utilizing the elements in this realm. I don't know how familiar a lot of you all may be with it, but of course we have air, earth, fire, water, and some people also include ether or ether. But air, earth, fire, and water. Those are the main four. My nose always itches, but those are the main four that we work with and manipulate when we go into bringing forth and manipulating the energy here, of attuning ourselves and using them as tools to change our frequency to get in alignment with those things we choose to manifest in this reality. So not putting it in the thought process of outside of you, because sometimes people will think about the four elements outside of your being, but knowing that we are a compilation of air, fire, earth, and water. Internally, our body is air, the breath, the spirit, all right, the speech. That's why the affirmations is very important, because we're releasing that air out. That's air, all right? Fire and water, okay? We have fire and water all day. Our heart is heartbeat. When we sweat, We are electromagnetic beings, so we're fire. We're fire energy just by the movement within itself. Movement is vibration, and movement is that heat. That's the fire that we can bring. And then, of course, we have water. Our entire body is made with water. Even, I believe, the scripture states that, we have the sword of the tongue. It sits in a pit of water. It's saliva. All right? So our entire body, even our tears, our sweat, our organs, just like I said, the water that's within us, that we can attune to this frequency of just speaking to ourselves throughout the day. We are made of earth. All right. This is when we go back to the earth, and when we transition, this physical body is just nothing but dust, dirt, ground, soil. We're going right back to earth. We're biodegradable beings. We really are biodegradable, because when we lay, just like animals, when you see them, if they transition and they die and they laid out, they will go back to the earth. Their body will decay, and they're ashes to ashes, dust to dust. All right, and that's why that's said. But we are also connected to the ethers. We're connected to realms beyond here. We have that spiritual cord and connection. So we are all 5 elements. We are air, fire, water, and earth and ether. We are all of them, and we have to learn how to manipulate those energies. But I was talking to someone the other day, and it's like, before you can get to a point where you can sit and just, of course, we use the visualization. That's part of it. Before we can sit and just call things forth, and once we get to that level, and we're in that energy now where we have to be very mindful because we're calling things forth, we can utilize the tools outside of us, of those elements, to help us manipulate the energy within us to put us on a higher frequency of what we need. So we can manifest those things into our lives that we are calling forth, that we want, to make us be a bodhisattva, or a brighter light to others, and to bring people into the divine that's within them, so they can see who they are. Because the light within you, that light, that's that fire. When that fire is seen within you, when that halo that's like around Mary's head and Jesus' head and Buddha's head and all these enlightened ones, when that enlightened halo is around your head, even though some of us may not actually see it, is there. There's a halo around your head, and people are attracted to that halo. So when you're in alignment, when you have manipulated these energies and these tools within you and outside of you, in order for you to ascend and to call forth those things that you need in order for you to be able to help others, you become a light, and people are attracted to that, and people are going to want to know, what are you doing, and how are you doing, and how they can be a part of whatever you're doing. And you can gradually start to increase people who are wanting to know more and learn more about who they are on this spiritual journey. It's just about learning more and knowing more about who you are in this spiritual journey. Oh, also, another cute thing that I got. One of my students, she thought about me. She remembered me this weekend, and she made me a bracelet. And Brianna, this little girl, she wears about 10 of these on each arm. And it's so cute, because when I first met her, I was like, you got enough bracelets, don't you? And I told her, I said, I like it. It's unique. I said, I want you to make me one. And she said, okay, when I go back to my grandmama's house, I'm going to make you one. What you wanted to say? And she put my last name on here. And she put all the little stars and hearts and pink and green, which I love, which she didn't even know, and all these little colors. So nothing is more magical than something that is handmade by a child. I think this is extremely magical. I'm also going to put it on my altar just for her. She doesn't even know, but I'm going to put this on my altar for her, to whatever she's going through, to help her on her journey as a little girl. And I think she's Yes, so I'm putting this on the altar for my student, so she can step into her divinity at an early age. And that's one thing about this life: you never know, you know, who you are entertaining. She has no clue. Possibly her from a subconscious level, or a higher self level, she knows who I am and I know who she is, but from a conscious level she's possibly not aware. And she made me this, and I want to send her good energy. I want to make sure that she ascends on her path and life treats her well, and she's full with all the beauty that it needs to bring to her in this lifetime. So yeah, that's one of the things I wanted to discuss with you all, to look more into elemental manipulation, manipulating the elements within in order to bring an outward, seeking to bring forth an outward manifestation. So you have to manipulate these energies. It's all about learning how to do that. And once you get to the point, and a lot of people, that's all witchcraft is. It's just a manipulation of energies. But once you get to a point, a higher level, where you don't have to utilize those tools, you don't have to utilize the oils, the incense, the crystals, the herbs. Our goal is to get beyond that. Our goal is to get beyond, having to use the cauldron and put all those things in there, making the gree bags and the mojo bags and doing all that. All of that is just training. So what you all are seeing as like, oh, this is witchcraft and this is going to bring about this, the real witch, the high-ranking witch, the witches above all witches, is the one that can close her eyes or even keep them open to think a thought, and it becomes reality in this realm. And that's it. She doesn't need oils. She doesn't need fire. She doesn't need a cauldron. She knows she is the cauldron in the womb. She knows she is the fire. She is the water. She is the herb. She is all the power. We are all we need. Everything else is just a manipulation of the mind as a tool to get you to understand the power that's already invested in you. Okay, let's think about a kingdom. Isn't the child of a king inheriting the kingdom? If his father is not there, doesn't he take on the role as a king? When his father dies, as he's the prince, then now he's the king, right? Just by inheritance, right? So, we are gods. We were created by higher forms. No matter what you think those higher forms are, wherever your thought, if you think it's God, or if you think it's Allah, if you think it's whatever you think, the higher form, the all in the Gnostic texts of, the Hermetic principles, the mind of the all. If we are part of the mind of the all, then we inherit all of what the all is, because by right it's us too, right? So just to put some thoughts in your mind and your heart for you to think about, and knowing that the real witchcraft is beyond the I Ching, it's beyond the Meta Nectar, it's beyond the tarot, it's beyond Ifa and throwing bones, is beyond, a pendulum, is beyond candle magic and a cauldron. This is a real power. It's you. High frequency.